Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today topic is Pareto analysis. So have you ever wondered why a small number of problems create most of the defects in a manufacturing process? What if you could identify the few critical issues that are causing the biggest losses or solve them first? In today's video, we are going to learn about Pareto analysis. So, one of the most powerful quality improvement tools used in lean manufacturing and quality management. So, what is Pareto analysis? Let's start. So, Pareto analysis in lean manufacturing. Pareto analysis is one of the most important problem-solving tools used in the lean manufacturing and quality management. It helps organizations identify the few problems and that causes most of the losses, defects, delay, or customer complaint. Instead of trying to solve every problem at the same time, so Pareto analysis helps us focus on the most important issue first. This saves time, money, and efforts while improving the productivity and quality. So, what is Pareto analysis? What is Pareto analysis? So, Pareto analysis is a technique used to identify the most significant cause of a problem by applying the 8 by 20 principle. The 8 by 20 principle states about 80% of problems are caused by only 20% of causes. So this means a number of a causes create most of the problems. So, so in simple meaning, imagine your factory has 100 machine breakdown in 1 month. So after analyzing the data, you find you find two machine caused 80 breakdowns. So the remaining 80 machines caused only 20 breakdowns. So instead of repairing all 10 machines equally, you should first focus on two machines cause most of the breakdowns. This is Pareto analysis. So then history not required in history. Pareto analysis based on the work of the Pareto. So that name wise that is the Pareto analysis. So in Pareto analysis is main meaning is the focus on the few important causes, ignore the many losses important cause until it is later. So why Pareto analysis used in lean manufacturing? Lean manufacturing aims to eliminate waste and improve efficiency. So Pareto analysis helps by finding the biggest problem, reducing defect, improve product quality, increasing productivity, saving money, improving customer satisfaction, making better decisions. And what is the 8 by 20 rule? The rule says 20% of the defects cause 80% of the customer complaint. 20% of machine gets 80% of the downtimes. Then 20% of products generate 80% of profit. 20% of employee may complete 80% of important work. 20% of supplier may cause 80% quality issue. So remember, the number are not always exactly 80 and 20. Sometimes they may be 70 30, 90 10, 75 25. And the idea is that a few causes create most of the result. And the most idea is that few causes create uh, the idea is that a few causes create most of the result. So step by step, I will explain. You can understand in Pareto analysis. So step one, identify the problems. Example: customer complaints are increasing. Customer complaints are increasing. Step 2, collect the data. Record every complaint. So in problem, scratches, number of the complaint 50, wrong size 25, broken parts 10, wrong label 8, late delivery 7. So in arrange data, sort from highest to lowest. So scratches 50, wrong size to 25, broken parts 10, wrong level 8, and late delivery 7. And step 4, calculate total 50 plus 25 plus 10 plus 8 plus 7, total 100. So step 5, calculate percentage. So scratches 10 percent, scratches 50 and 50 percentage, wrong size 25% broken parts per 10 percentage, wrong level 8 percentage, level let delivery 7 percentage. Then calculate cumulative percentage. So in percentage 50 percentage, cumulative 50 percentage, wrong size 25, cumulative 75, broken parts 10, cumulative 85, round level 8, cumulative 93, let delivery 7, 100 percentage. So step 7, draw the Pareto charts. A Pareto charts consists of bars to show frequency of each problem. A line graph show cumulative percentage. The tallest bar appears first, and the cumulative percentage line usually reaches around 80 percentage after only few category. The real manufacturing example. A factory manufactures 1000 plastic bottles. After inspection, cap leakage 60, damage, scratch mark 30, wrong color 20, shape defect 10, printing error 5. So total defects 125. So percentage, cap leakage 48%, scrap mark 25 to 24%, wrong color 16%, shape defects 8%, and printing error 4%. Interpretation. Nearly 72% of defects come from only cap leakage and scratch mark. Cap leakage and scrap mark. So the company should improve these two issue fast. Then after that, rest of these you can improve. So in daily life example, imagine you are a student. You have these exam mistake. Mathematics 40, physics 25, chemistry 20, English 10, biology 5. So most mistakes are math and physics. So instead of studying all subjects equally, you first improve mathematics and physics first. Then the other subject you can improve after some time. This is called Pareto analysis. The advantages of the Pareto analysis. Easy to understand, helps to identify major problem quickly, save time and resources, improve productivity, reduce manufacturing cost, improve product quality, support data-based decision making, to increase customer satisfaction, improve process efficiency, helps prioritize improve projects. So limitation of the Pareto analysis. So it depends on accurate data, does not identify the root cause by itself. Small problem may still be important. So needs regularly update as condition changes. So works best when combined with other quality tool. Relationship with the lean manufacturing. So lean manufacturing focus on the eliminating waste. Pareto analysis helps lean teams determine which waste should be eliminated first. Example: machine breakdown, product defects, material waste, waiting time, rework, customer complaint. So instead of solving every issue, so lean focus on the vital few problems that have the greatest impact. Then Pareto analysis versus root cause. Pareto analysis find the biggest problem. Root cause find why the problem happens. Prioritize issue. Identify the underlying causes, uses data, use investigation technique, decide what to solve first, decide how to solve it. So often teams use Pareto analysis first to choose the most important problems, then applying root cause analysis, such as the five-way or fishbone diagram to eliminate it. And why Pareto analysis is used? So Pareto analysis is widely used in manufacturing, automotive industry, healthcare, construction, baking, logistics, warehousing, retail, software development, customer service, education. The key point to remember, Pareto analysis is based on the 80 by 20 rule. A small number of causes create most of the problem. It helps to prioritize improvement effort. It is an essential tool in lean manufacturing and quality management. It uses data to identify the most significant causes. So solving the vital few or problems lead to greatest improvement. So in the short summary of the Pareto analysis, so Pareto analysis is a problem-solving tool used in the lean manufacturing to identify few causes responsible for most of the problems. It is based on the 8 by 20 principle, which states that the approximately 80% of the effects come from the 20% of the causes. By collecting and analyzing data, organization can prioritize the most critical issue and reduce waste, improve quality, increase productivity, and use resources more effectively. A Pareto charts helps to visualize which problems should be addressed first and making it one of the most valuable continuous improvement tool in manufacturing. So this is for my part 1 video, and part 2 video I will also give in some example in that video so you can understand. So this is the Pareto analysis principle 8 by 20 rule. So let's start about that. So what is Pareto principle or 8 by 20 rule? 8 by 20 rule, also known as Pareto principle, named as a Belpredo Pareto. Pareto principle states that roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. 20% of the causes. So what does this mean to us? So from company perspective, it means that 80% of the sales is generated from 20% of the customer. So it means that 80% of the sales is generated from 20% of the customer. It means that 80% of your efforts are come from 20% of your employee. It means that 80% of your problems are come from 20% of your customer. It means that 80% of your output is coming from 20% of input. So that depend upon the situation, which parts are using that one. So from in day-to-day life, 20% of the food you eat 80% of the time. 80% of your grocery bill comes from the 20% of the items. You probably one wear 20% of the clothes in your wardrobe 80% of the time. 20% of mine subscribe will either comment, like, share, and 80% of the time. So what does to means us? So what does to means us? Utilization brain, and 80% of the success. Then it means that 80% of the sales. It means that 80% of the sales is generated from 20% of the customer. It means that 80% of your efforts come from the 20% of your employee. It means that 80% of your problems are come from 20% of your customer. It means that 80% of your output is coming from 20% of your input. So from time to time, 20% of your food you can eat 80% of the time. 80% of your grocery will come from 20% of the items. You probably one wear 20% of your clothes in your order 80% of your time. So 20% of my subscribe will either comment, like, share, and 80% of your time. So 80% of the success can be attributable to less than 20% of the utilization of your brain. So summary. So 80%, 20% input, 80% result. 80% input, 20% result. That depend upon the situation. Then this is the my Pareto law, and this is my part 3 video. So this video all are example. Then you can clearly understand. So see that image, that is called Pareto law. Action and result. 80% of the results come from the 20% of the action. So same example, 20% of your time produces 80% of the result. So reading. So reading. 20% of the book contains 80% of the content. 80% of the content. Then job. 20% of your work gives us 80% of your satisfaction. 80% of your satisfaction. So donation. 20% of your people will give 80% of the money. Then 20% of the counseling. 20% of the people take up 80% of your time. Then leadership. 20% of the people will make 80% of the decision. 20% of the people will make 80% of the decision. Products. 20% of the products brings into 80% of the profit. 20% of the products brings in 80% of the profit. Speech. 20% of the presentation produces 80% of the impact. Then picnic. 20% of the people will eat 80% of the food. So that is all about the Pareto analysis. So if you are this is this video in the today video we are learn about Pareto analysis. So this is my end of the video. Suppose you watch this video and enjoy it. So please like, share and subscribe this channel. So thank you so much for your time given this.